shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in to the Crypto Lifer Show.
I'm in the dark. I'm in the blackness. Help me come out the light. Somebody find me. Please, please, please.
Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. May God bless each and every one of you as we jump on in this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. May God bless everybody here on the live. Let me jump on into that chat. See what people are saying. We got 112,350. I want to see how people feel about that price action. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What are you doing? What's happening? Put a thumbs up if you're bullish. Put a thumbs down if you're bearish. Let me know how you feel. Are you bull or bear out there on the live stream? God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I am hanging out. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Let's take a look at BOOKMAP and see what's happening and give you that information that you crave, that you come here for every single day. So Bitcoin, 113,500. Nice big red up there. Also 118,000. So we know that we have some key liquidations below us that we can absolutely plow into. So that's a good sign. And I mean above us that we could absolutely plow into. So that means we could get a nice little short squeeze here all the way up to about $118,000 BTC. So that's a good sign. I like it. So far we're building liquidity to rip us to the upside. I would love 114,000. This one's telling us we got 113.5, pretty close. That's the biggest red. And usually we hit the biggest red area. We've gone over this many times on the channel. First thing we look at when we start. Shout out to all my awesome people here. Shout out to Biscuits. Shout out to George Wingard, Reliable J, Chris Apparel, Shesmu, my man, Vegas Claw, always holding me down. Hope your mom's doing well. And hope everything's going okay. So let's take a look at BTC. The bot. I do have a bot. You can have access to the same bot that I use. I do get a commission. Sign up today if you want to. Completely up to you. Go to www.MINOTAURTradingSystems.io. Crypto Lifer right there, this link. And I posted the link here. I think the bot's great. So when I show it, I give you access. If I didn't give you access, I'd be like, hey, here's my bot. Ha ha ha. You can't find out how to use it, but I can. You know? So be a little rude. Like, join my trading group, but don't buy the bot. You know what I mean? But I want to give you access to anything that you feel you desire. So 8,000, look, it's just been, it builds a long, then another long, then another long, then it buys the absolute bottom. Once we get to 114,005, this bot is out of that trade and going to absolutely nail it. So we're just waiting for that moment. Patience, my friends, patience. Since it bought the bottom September 1st, it takes sometimes 2 weeks to cash in on those big daily bottom buys. Remember, it's not a swift move. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now, just in the, in the interim, what I see happening and where we're going. At the very quick scale of things, I'm watching this 15-minute flag here. Did a little bit of a dip. It could come all the way back down, 1, 2, 3. Really, I'm just looking for consolidation. Like something like this, like Bitcoin just kind of goes sideways and just stays inside this tight flag. It could even come further down in the bigger fight. We'll talk about it. But anyway, I just want to see it get sideways and get ready for a pump. Tells me it's got a couple more days of sideways price action as we head to one of my, September 11th. Just a real interesting day for me because I was in New York when it happened. I just got to New York, and so September 11th will always sit with me and always kind of hit me pretty hard. I went down there a few weeks afterwards where you could get closer and then eventually shut it down. And I read all the letters from kids, parents who never made it home, Thousands of people that died that day in New York City. Pretty insane when you think about it. Anyway, I was there, man. I was in New York. I wasn't actually at the towers, but I was in New York the day it happened. I was only like, a 20, 30-minute train ride from the World Trade Center in Queens. We saw the smoke come down Queens Boulevard. For days, this nasty smoke poured down out and went east out to Long Island. Let's take a look. So Bitcoin's struggling right now as we speak, 112,150. Looks like it's coming back down to like maybe the bottom of that channel that I just showed you. We'll get to that in a split second and see if there's a live trade. Price action was a little funky to me today. Had some nice wins the last couple days, and so things have been good. I showed my last 10 trades on weeks, and they've been doing damage, right? So congratulations to anyone that's kicked it with the lifer. There's my last 10 trades on weeks. First one, I made $8, right? I covered. It didn't go my way. I covered for a quick, to make sure I didn't lose money. Like I saw something, I didn't love it. First trade won, but I won. I mean, it's technically a win, right? Second trade 160, third trade 1,000. So now I'm up about $1,200 as you do the math, right? And I'm 3 for 3. Then I lose one, puts me down about what, 833. So now I'm up $833. Funny, 33 and the 77, always matching. But then I'm down on the 30. Oh no, that would be 823. Forgive me. 23. So 823. Okay. Then I win $1,400 on the 808, the 1483, right? So if you go up 6, you're talking a quick 2283, and then another 2, about like 2483, right? So beautiful move. No, so sorry. It'll be 2283. We add the 800, okay? Yeah. Then we lose 265, right? Which is about 2100. It doesn't make sense. Hold on. Make $1,200, lose 377. That puts me at about 1,200 minus is 370. Yeah, it's about 880 really, actually. Okay. And then plus that is going to be your 2,200 minus minus $265, right? Is $2,000. And then plus these two puts it at 2,700. I did the math though. Hold on. That math is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's my other two trades? Used to show 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 trades, lost 2. So 8, I guess it's 8 trades. So I thought it was 10. I feel like a complete mongoloid. Anyway, whatever that means. But so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. Only lost 2 and made some good gains. As you can clearly see, 2 big ones, some real big ones, and some small losses. So awesome. Pretty sweet. Let's grow these accounts, man. And again, you could go and try to make thousands of dollars, double your 20 grand every time. I'm telling you right now, when you're wrong, you're going to be super wrong. You know what I'm saying? I like to just win over and over again, and if it's not right, I cut it off. That is the key. I listened to Trading in the Zone. He taught me how to trade. This is it. An older man than me, I listen to people older than me with knowledge, more knowledge than I've ever had, and they break it down, right? So I'm looking for this to break to the upside. You see this? This is a 4-hour ascending triangle, looking nice with the 21 getting tight with the 200 above us. We crack this puppy, we're gone. So we're going to break all this down for you now, and we're going to start with the weekly. So the weekly, previous resistance is support, boom, boom, boom. Okay, down at that $74,000 level, and then, we dipped below this previous resistance, but we're back above it now, and as long as we keep closing weekly candles above 109,135, we're good to go. I'm not stressed at all. So this is not too shabby. I like what we're seeing here. And remember, we went over this idea. We got bearish when we got these 2 candles. We got the dump as we knew we would. But we got a beautiful reversal. We called the bottom too, if you remember. How did I do it? With bullish divvy on those smaller time frames and seeing that we had kind of hit some previous levels that we got back above. Amazing. And then we also called the bottom just by using tweezer bottoms on the daily. The daily was pretty simple. You just waited for the candles to look like a bottom. You get really, as you get older in this game, it gets a lot simpler. I'm never going to use the word easy, but it gets way simpler. You start to see things that you just never would have seen before, and you're like, oh, that's obviously the bottom. And next thing you know, it's the bottom. You know what I mean? I can't explain it, but I'm going to show you exactly how I find bottoms and tops. It's pretty simple to me. Look. You go into the big time frames and you look for bottoms. All right. This is a very simple thing. Everything I do is big to small. Okay. So look, this is how I find the bottom. Pretty simple. This is how I just found the bottom this week. People are like, no, you didn't, but I did. I really did. I called it here on the channel. We talked about it many times. I stuck to the fact that was likely going to be the bottom. We even traded it. And we've been selling those local tops at these areas right now in the high 1,200, 112s and into 113. So we've already made nice gains. That's just one account. We've traded many. So look, I'm just going to break this down quick, and then we're going to get into the top, the whole analysis. But every single time that we got the green candle to close next to a red one, right? It was substantial for the bulls. And had you open up a trade right here, right there, right? Waited for the candle to close, open up a trade maybe below the wick of the red candle. Same thing here. Open up a trade here with a wick below the red. You know, you're basically booming. Some of them were lackluster, but if you move your stop loss to break even or you took profits, the whole point is these were great places to get into price action, right? You almost always had some upside. Even if it was small, even on the worst plays, there was some upside there. That was like the least amount. But we had bearish div there, and you knew you were at the end of a huge pump. So, like, come on now. That's not the same as these. These are the end of a dump, and, you know, that's amazing. Anyway, so you say, okay, so those are substantial bottoms. So would that be a bottom on a daily? Yes, same thing. So what is true on the bigger time frames is true on the smaller time frames. And so then when you watch a dump, for the next time you see Bitcoin getting super bearish, you know, and we're going to show you in a second, you'll zoom into the daily. I'll just do it now and we'll be back. But you'll zoom into the daily and you'll wait for a green candle to close next to a red one. Now this time, and they made another one, and then they did dip it below these two wicks. And I did get stopped out because I had a stop loss right there. I was going 700 for 3,500 bucks. They took me for 737. When it came back, I went back in, and then I made like 1,500 bucks in the trade. So, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't bang. So, survive. Played my model twice today. Lost the first one and may lose the second one. But I traded my model and nothing else. For that, I'm happy and blessed. Focusing. Hey, man, just stick to what you got to do. Yeah. If you have problems with your model, just adopt my model for a while. You know what I'm saying? Just do exactly what I'm doing, man. I'm a computer. That's what I'm trying to say. Like 200 moving average. Like last night. I'll show you guys in a second. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead here. We always have to remember too that anything is possible. All right, let's go over the worst case scenario today because everyone gets overly bullish. Even I do a little bit sometimes. Altcoins look great right now. Like I'm starting to make, man, it's alt season. But like, could we make a right shoulder and take a dump? This could happen. Could be a black swan. You never know. There could be something you've never thought possible. Okay? You have to understand this. This is something, you know what I mean? Show me the charts and I'll show you the news. Did they show us an omen? Could there be something that we don't want to see? You know, this is just starts to kind of give you a bit of an idea here. So, but when you pull the fib, you're confident. Nice bounce off the 618 golden pocket. I mean, unbelievable. Hidden bullish divergence. It's all there. Everything that I love to go for a bottom was there on that weekly bottom, 108,000. So anyway, hidden bullish too as well when you're on the RSI is moving to the downside, but price action still moving up. That's called hidden bullish divergence on a weekly time frame, substantial. When you pull a fib and then you get the 618 golden pocket, I mean, I can't tell you that. Like we did it here. Bitcoin did it right there. It's just a no. Like that was some bullish divergence too because that swung down while that swung up. Hidden bullish. It tells you that the trend will continue. You're more 90% likely to break these highs now than to break these lows. It means you can go in with stop losses below the tweezer bottom and you're likely to win. As crazy as it sounds, people don't believe it. It is what it is. So that's kind of what we're looking at here for BTC. Okay. We have signs on the bigger time frames for a beautiful reversal. And so far, it's starting to play out on the local time frames and blending into the weekly. This is what we were looking for. This is why I'm fighting so hard, waiting for that 1 minute to break 200 moving averages, waiting for the 15 minute to break a 200 moving average. You want that 15 minute to break the 200. Once it breaks the 200, you could become free. Trend is changing. Breaking the 200 means the trend is changing. Look, when you break the 200 here, on the 5-day chart, if you were with me on my channel, the second this 5-day candle closed, I said you can long this probably with a stop below the 200. That is still in position, that trade. That's using my strategies, just longing above the 200 moving average. We do this on the 1 minute every day. I'm going to show you how this played out earlier today at 2:30 in the morning on the 1 minute. Exact same thing. And I'm going to show you how so this chart right here, the 5-day chart, cross the 200, boom, 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 right? This is a macro of what happened this morning. I'm going to show you a micro, and I'm going to teach you how, if you can understand this for a second and close your brain and open your brain, close your eyes and open your mind for a second, because I want you to like transcend space and time. I don't want you to feel anything else of your natural earth or your natural presence right now. I want you to be in like an ethereal space in your mind. I want you to close your eyes and say, Time is infinite. Time can go either way. Time can go all the way back to milliseconds that disappear into triseconds, trilliseconds, whatever we want to call them, right? We can divide it until we can't even understand how we could divide time again, but it must be infinite until we divide it into whatever it could be, techoseconds. And then we can go take time all the way to infinity, right? And it can expand and grow. And no matter how we look at time, all right, it resembles itself inside of itself all the time, accordion style. So when we look at Bitcoin here on the 5-day chart, we have to understand it's the same thing as looking at Bitcoin on the 1 minute. But y'all don't hear me though. But this is a big deal. Seriously, this is like the twilight zone of trading. I'm going to show you something in a second that will blow your mind. All right, so anyway, the 200 is deadly. Once you understand it and you get with it, and I think you would throw almost everything else away and really focus on it to the point of no return, you would be dominating the markets with this confidence and this lack of emotion that you've never thought would be possible to have. So the 5-day chart looks good to me. Breaking back out, looks like everything's kind of setting up for that possible shoulder, head, right shoulder, and a move. However, it could make a right shoulder here. I'm not always 100% bullish or bearish. I'm open-minded any given time that anything could happen here to Bitcoin. Beautiful thing that it did break out of this. And I'm going to ask you about some conspiracy theories for BTC that have been coming out, saying that Satoshi made Bitcoin, but not Ledger Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin we use is Ledger Bitcoin. It's fake Bitcoin. And it's not the real Bitcoin. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's insane, right? There's people starting to kind of get people to FUD. That's interesting. I mean, that's how it starts, a narrative of FUD. I'm not going to get into that FUD nonsense. I'm going to just keep stacking BTC. But there you have it, right? So a falling wedge, can it break back to the upside? That's what we're looking at. Look how oversold we are here on the 3-day chart. Curving up. RSI looking, ready to move back up. MACD turning. Everything looking our way. And then here we are on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. Let's zoom in here and take a look-ski. The daily's like my buddy. So when the daily was here, we talked about it reversing, right? The tweezer bottoms. We remember when they got us back here, and I still said, that's your bottom, man. It's a second tweezer bottom in a row. Just a little, and the fact that they went right below the wicks told me that was a liquidity. They just tried to see if they could snatch, right? It's so funny. And bang. And the trade got to pay for itself and more. The point is, we were looking for this to make an inverted head and shoulder a long time ago. Like right around here, I was like, maybe it make, I was like, we're looking for, I project all the time. So once I see it, I'm like, okay. It's like chess. I create so many scenarios in my mind that I can skip right to the one that actually happens because I've already seen the one that's happened in my mind. This is the key, right? This is what Littlefinger said. So we come down here. I did say Littlefinger. We come down here. We got the bounce. Previous bounce, resistance. Can we get back above here to get the bounce? 112,500 for BTC. And then can we head up to $117,028, which would be our just next level of liquidity. My VRVP right there too. That's also a point of control. We could get sucked right to magnetically. You can see there's a gap. See this node sticking out and then a gap says we can rip. So this is setting up for a move to the upside. You can see what's happening here for Bitcoin. And we also have a measured move of the inverted head and shoulder. Again, it also is at resistance. I'll give you that. Bounce, resistance. We're out of resistance. We got to break through. Once we break through, we'll retest, and then we retest this area, and we're gone. 116, 117,000. And then once you get to 117K, fine, you'll probably retest whatever's a little lower, 114, 115.5. And then, I don't see how we can't surge to the all-time high. And then it's on like Donkey Kong. And that's why people don't realize, like, these levels, they're subtle. Well, like, Bitcoin gets above 117,000, like, it's going to the all-time high. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So, like, they can't let it get above some key levels because then the short squeeze is on. They got to fight so hard because once it kind of gets out the bag, it's out the bag. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to tell you is because the liquidity is waiting so hard on the other side and the short squeeze is there, once we get to the next level, it's just so likely we're getting to. So, like, a break of 112.5 is 117. Break of 117 is a retest of 117, maybe after a boost up to 120, 121. And then the next logical area that's going is you're in an uptrend. So the trend is your friend, is that you're going for that all-time high. So you can kind of see that this, you can almost begin to see. So because if you backtrack to any time we broke an all-time high, like right here, we made an all-time high, right? And then they dumped us. And we came up, then they dumped us. What happened? We boomed. And then you have to look for your the next time you have a red and a green candle closing on the daily after a substantial dump. And you get it right here. And that's, look, 1, 2, 3. First higher low since you've had this dump. Look, that's low, lower low, right? Lower low. So you make a higher low. That basically tells you you're breaking this high. You see? And you can't see it either, but it's basically a bit of an inverted head and shoulder. Cup and handle comes there too. Like, you get the cup with the handle, that thing's gone. The point is, once you make a higher low, the trend has now told you you're taking out this high and likely this high and making a new high, which is exactly what Bitcoin did, right? From 111 all the way up here, 112,000, right? It did a monster move there. So again, this has a high likelihood now, if we dig deep now, low. Okay, days pass, we get our second low. Remember, we didn't take the weekend off. We've been doing this TA. We followed this path of Bitcoin because it's been so interesting. Why take a day off from this area? All right, Bitcoin taking a massive dump, 111,650. But that makes sense. Back to the bottom of that channel. Okay, not a big deal for me at the present moment. Let's keep it going on the bigger time frame. If we focus on every little dump every 5 seconds, we won't be able to really see the big picture. There's some people here that aren't in the trading group or thinking about it, but they're getting the education right now. I want to give as many people that chance to get the education. All right, they can grow to like me, grow to find out that I give this value. And once you get free value, you can come and bring your value back. Difference between me and a lot of other trading groups out there or anything else is I started and just gave free information on this channel for years. And people said, man, I made a lot with your information. And then I started a free trading group. And then eventually I flipped the paywall on and people were like very happy to be there. So I gave it away for a long time. Basically, I bowed to the industry and said, here, I'm going to give everything I have. If I give enough value, is there value for me? And they said, yes, we love you. You know, a lot of people are just kind of flipping on a paywall without, they haven't done anything yet. They haven't given any value to the market yet. You know, but whatever. My story is my story. It is what it is. But so look, this could continue. Can we get back above this resistance here? 112,351. And that's what you reap, what you sow. Like, I planted so many seeds. They're all growing now into fruition, right? If you sit there and do things without any reward. When I started my channel, I desired no reward. I truly want to tell everybody this for a fact. I want you to know this, and whether you believe this or not, it doesn't matter to me. But you should, because it'll help you in your own struggles through life, because it's a fact of life. It's like The Richest Man in Babylon. It's just a book that you want to read. I'm just telling you a true story. So when you start something with no reward in your mind, it's so weird, but that's where you'll probably get the biggest rewards, you know? Because when you start it so pure of energy, your frequency is so clear and high that you're going to be in the law of detachment, meaning you're not going to really be focused on what's going to come to you. You're just going to be focused on building. And when you're so focused on building, you'll build so big. You know, it's kind of like this. Say there was 2 developers in real estate, right? And one guy was all about how much money he could make and how fast he could flip and how many apartments he could build. And this is kind of a fable, so it's not going to be completely perfect with the way life works, but just listen. And so he's like, okay, I can't wait to sell them. I can't wait, and when he gets to he's looking at every story that gets built and he's so locked in that the money, and then he caps it off at 40 because I can't wait to sell these things. Another guy gets so locked into the building process, he forgets what floor he's on. And he's going. And next thing you know, he's built 60 floors. Now, it may take a little longer than the other guy, but when he's ready to sell, he has way more property. Because he was just so focused on just building. He wasn't focused on anything else. The other guy was focused on the money so much and some of the building, but he didn't really, you know what I mean? He eventually it capped his building, right? So it's kind of like a corny metaphor. I made it up right now. I could probably come up with something way better if I had a team of writers to whip it up. Maybe Grok could do something for me right now. But the point is, when you focus on the task at hand and not the reward, that's when you will get rained on. You see what I'm saying? One day you'll look up and then, the rewards you'll start to see them. And then what you have to do is let your ego take in the rewards, realize they're cool, and then say, hey, but did it change anything about my true ethic? Like, if this reward keeps coming, does it wake me up in the morning? Does it keep my streak alive? Like the rewards that I get now from years of plowing away, Do they keep me waking up in the morning? No, they don't. Like, I still got to wake up tomorrow morning. My knee pounding right now. I still got to work through the knee pain, right? Like, it doesn't change. Nothing changes just because you made it or thought you made it or got to where you wanted to be. What you finally realize is you're never getting where you wanted to be. You're always in the state of getting somewhere. That's success. Success means you've never really made it there. See, before, when you were younger or when you wanted to make it and make millions, you thought you were going to hit this level, and then all this like light would open up inside of you, and you would be like, oh, I'm a millionaire now. I don't feel this thing. And then you hit it, you make the money, and you realize you feel pretty much 80% as you felt your whole life. There's a cool feeling of hitting a level. Okay, I got where I dreamed big. I surpassed some key levels. I did some things. That's awesome. A realization that you became who you desired to be. That's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But like, you just realized that you just realized that you're in love with the journey now more than just getting there. You know what I'm saying? That's what once you get there, you realize it's a journey now. You've just started a process that feels so good to be inside that you never actually were trying to get somewhere in the first place. What you were trying to get was inside of emotion. You were trying to become someone that locked in success at the present moment. You wanted to be on momentum all the time. Once you catch momentum, you're not in love with the rewards as much as you were when you didn't have momentum. You're more in love with the momentum than anything else. And then every time you get a little glittery with the rewards, you go, okay, that's cool. Like, I might go to Vegas and people ask for pictures and we throw a party and I feel like, okay, I'm a mini celebrity for the day. And then I tell myself, I'm just a guy that's been online every day and some people are nice to me. Let's get real, Sam. And I square myself away and I get back to work. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, but like, you can get caught up in the nonsense and then get lost in the process. We want to get back to the constant of the discipline, right? And that's the same in your trading. You'll start winning big trades, okay? You'll start winning big trades and you'll be like, okay. So, and again, a little off topic from the actual analysis today, but it's about mindset, all right? Mindset. And I want you to focus on success so you can get to success. And that's how you get there. I'm telling you right now. And again, not financial advice. These are mental gymnastics you can do to create good habits that build positive attitudes, right? So I like what we're seeing on the daily. Indecision candle today, but it'll be beautiful when it closes. I don't want to see a tweezer top on the daily. That'd be a little bearish. I'd like this to close green today, and preferably above or at this resistance at least, but definitely a green candle, one step at a time, but I'd like a green candle today, right? 111,650. Bitcoin had a little bit of a surge back to 700 here. It's pretty volatile right now. We go to the 12-hour time frame. We flip on the moving averages. The 200 moving average is it's a back and forth area here. We had two candles above it for a second, but it's been a battle right now. Same thing here. You're kind of looking at this ascending triangle, which I have to be honest, they can be bearish. They're 50%. They're 50-50 patterns. They don't always go to the upside 100%. This thing could head all the way down to about 106,457. You see? So it's definitely, you get resistance by this 200 moving average, you could dump. So I'm open-minded to say anything is possible right now. I am a little more bullish on the smaller time frames, but they got to show us something. We're not just going to ride on like what ifs. So here we are on the 4-hour time frame, and this is kind of where I stand today. You can clearly see, you bring this up, that there's resistance right here at 113,003. We hit it with these wicks. We have some liquidity here. There's a high volume node that sticks out right towards the end of it. And then we hit both of these hit the high volume node there, and we got resistance, right? So clearly there's a resistance. In your main area you want to break is, I'd say 113.5, and we'd be solidified. It's like this little corner pocket right there where these two candles are. So we want to see this breakout. I'll get rid of the moving averages just for a second, but they're important. So what's going on? What do I have here? Well, I have the projection of what could be an ascending triangle, and we can break up and start to make a new project, right? So this would be a shoulder, a bit of a head or right shoulder. I'm projecting a bigger consolidation. All right. And this would be cool, right? And this would actually help us break out somewhere, but it says it would take a while, right? October. Could we actually, hang out? I mean, it's been happening, right? Bitcoin hung out here for the 28th of May all the way through June, just kind of doing its thing. This is going to take some time. All right, it hit an all-time high. Every time it does that, it tends to consolidate for about a month or two, right here. It hit an all-time high. Let's go over all the all-time highs it hit. Here at an all-time high in December 15th of 2024, right? And look how long it consolidated here. Till January, about a month, and then it hit another all-time high kind of batch. And then look how long it hung out. Like it from January all the way till April, when it found its bottom, it decided to go to a new all-time high again in May, where it then consolidated yet again, May through June, so at least about a month and a half, right? Now we're pretty, since the all-time high August 4th, we're about almost a month out. We could have another month of consolidation here just to show, and maybe we don't. So to me, the 4-hour looks good. I like it. I like the tight moving averages too as well. I don't know. Do I like it enough to trade it? I got in here at the bottom, and I've already taken profits at this resistance like a few times on swing trades. As you can see, I'm just waiting for like the next big punch. So that's our projection, these two white ones. This is the falling wedge that definitely broke out. And this is a bit of an ascending triangle that we're in right now. You can see we hit the top of the channel, and for the last 8 hours, we've kind of been coming back to the downside. This could go either way. This is a 50% shot. It either breaks out somewhere back to like 118, 119, 118.5, 119K, or it dumps us all the way right back there to about 107, back to this bottom area, or maybe even to, there first 109. 109's been pretty strong. So I see sideways price action for Bitcoin. We got some news coming our way too tomorrow morning, right? I believe we have PPI. So at 8:30 tomorrow, we have core PPI. And that's going to be pretty crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if we go sideways all the way until tomorrow. I know it sounds crazy, and I wouldn't be surprised if they baby this market until the rate cut. Because people are just on edge now. And it's getting closer and closer to the cut. So people that got in and out are like, all right, I did my thing. It's almost like swimming where there's sharks. They haven't come yet, but people say they're coming. You know what I mean? The rate cut is like when the sharks are here. So people are jumping in the water, jumping in the water. Eventually, a lot of people are just going to jump out the water. I think the volume's going to dry up a little bit because you're going to see timidness in the market. There's going to be people who definitely want to take advantage, but those are the DEGEN craziers. And they'll be around and they'll get liquidated. Don't get me wrong. But I have a premonition here too. And these are things that like nobody talks about. You don't really read in the news. These are things I see as just a trader over and over again. So I wouldn't be surprised if they play games. 92% that they cut this rate. And now this is creeping up every day. I'm looking at the 50 basis point cut to the 3754. They're going to do a double cut. And it's going to surprise the market. And that's going to create a frenzy because people think it's already priced in. And yes, it's priced in. One cut is probably priced in, but not two cuts. I think two cuts will really create a frenzy. And then people will wonder what's going to happen for October, right? See, they're at 74% right now that they're going to cut at least two times. And December, 67%. So there's three cuts like already priced in. Or not priced in, but already baked in. Like people already believe it's going to happen in the minds of men. They haven't put their money in there just yet. They're still a little timid. People aren't so quick to reverse on their thoughts as much. They got the thought, but they're not throwing the capital. Also, people are going to wait because they know that capital is coming. And they're going to be able to get cheaper capital. Why put capital in now that you have to pay more for when you can pay less for that capital later? Well, people say, well, the prices are lower now. What if you can't get the lower prices when you have the higher capital, the cheaper capital? And that's a risk people are going to have to take. That's why I'm already positioned, and I don't have to stress that. I'm actually very happy. I'm in the long haul. I made these decisions years ago. And I don't have to decide what liquidity I want to put where because I'm locked in. And that's the beauty of being locked in long term. Locked in long term. You don't have to stress that. Like a big move in the market when like people have to actually, like if you're worth a lot and you have to make a move. So it's taken off again. Are you kidding me? This is out of control. And yes, but still, that's just crazy. This is crazy talk right here. Look at the wick on that candle though. It's got some strong bearish divvy, but It's oversold on the 2 hour time frame. What if that thing just gets litty? Goes to $34. I mean, if anything could pop, it could be, but I'd be careful. I don't like to chase things that are this hot already, but dang. I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? You could have picked this coin up, and we talked about it. We even saw it. It was on Token Metrics a few times. $1.30. $1.30 here. Funny, it followed Octo. If you saw what Octo did in the stock market, it's kind of a similar move. It's like weird, right? Are they connected? Maybe not. I don't know, just a correlation. But all the way to 1759. I mean, it did like a 12x, basically. It's insanity. Bitcoin getting a nice little rippage. I want to start live trading here, so I got to finish this update. I like the bounce off the bottom of the trend line right now for Bitcoin. Look, it's getting really rippy up here to 11,750. So let's take a look. There may be a nice live trade cooking for us if I can get focused here and finish this long-term analysis. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live, the crypto lifers who kick it with me every single day. May God bless each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Thank you so much. You can go to cryptolifer.com to find out more about me, to join the trading group, hit subscribe, and find out more. I'd greatly appreciate that if you want to get that knowledge from the lifer. All right. You can also go to this QR code here where I teach class the third, I think it's the third to last Saturday of every month this month, the 20th, something like that. But the QR code will give you the date, but I'll be there. And my team will make sure of it, and we'll have class together. It's Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12. Stay blessed. That class is amazing. And I basically take thousands of dollars that I paid to learn and push it into a 3-hour class and give you a PowerPoint to follow and just kind of guide you along the way to trading and show you my mind and how I look at it. Wow, back to 550 for Bitcoin. Not a chasey day, a racy day over here for BTC. So look, I mean, I just see some, cautionary tales here for Bitcoin on the 4-hour. It could dump. It could go sideways. I don't see a huge pump anytime soon unless we just pump back to the top of the channel, which could be cool. Like back to 113K, but I don't see like, oh my gosh, we're just going to launch. Slap on the moving averages now, and you can see as they're getting tight, it's a good sign. Like, I mean, but you are making a lower high here on the 4-hour time frame. 2 hours back above the 200 moving average. Bullish sign, right? But look at the bearish div there. And it kind of looks shoulder head. That could be a right shoulder. That just takes us down, down, down. Shoulder, head, right shoulder there, even on the 4. Let me take a look at our 1 hour, my go-to. And that's kind of what we started watching earlier today. And you can see it just did what it was supposed to. People traded the ranges, and a lot of other people had this drawn like I did. I mean, all the bots and everyone that trades with a lot of money did. And when we came down here, I called a long last night. It bounced beautifully. We looked to watch, it came down, bounced, came up, bounced. This makes sense. All this makes 100% sense to me, especially on a lazy Tuesday as we're getting into the first week of school for most people around after Labor Day, right? Like everyone's back into action, back to work. The summer's over. And the big barbecues are done, most of them. I mean, still the weekend. In Florida, we never stop barbecuing, but And now we look at the 1 hour time, the 15-minute. That's kind of, it took a dumpy. And it's playing games again, just like it did last night near the 200 moving average. It makes me almost want to kind of swing this trajectory up a little bit. Yeah, to me, it's like pretty much on trend. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bounce here now, right back to the top of the channel yet again. It was a quick liquidity grab. You can see how fast those candles move. Gap of the VRVP. Swing, right? And then we make some type of right shoulder. And we kind of get out of here. Right? That becomes the end of this insane consolidation. So, I'm actually looking for a bounce now. So, now I'm going to zoom into the 5. Not my cup of tea. Into the 1. And now, look, I'm looking for a reversal pattern on the 1 minute. So I'm teaching you basically. So what you do is you look for a reversal on anywhere from the 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. If you can find something, like if you find on the 4 hour, you whittle to the 1, see if there's weakness. The 15, and then I look for entries on the 1 to 5 minute time frame. They will provide you the entry if you understand your patterns. Like there is an inverted head and shoulder on the 1 minute. That suggests you're going to bounce. Now, I don't front run being below the 200 moving average. I would wait for this to cross and the flag. By then, maybe I might miss some of the range too as well. Sometimes you're in such a tight range, by the time you cross the 1 minute 200, no go. Remember what we talked about earlier? Let's go back in time here for a split second. BTC USD all-time history index. As MIAX may explode again, who knows, right? But look, see when the 4-hour moving average has got super tight and we're about to get above the 200? We get above the 4-hour 200 moving average, we are going to explode. Number one, that's the one thing I want you to understand. Number two, let's get back to that 5-day idea that we talked about earlier. We got above the 5-day 200 moving average, right? Right here. Crossed it, candle closed, we were gone, right? It's exactly what happened on the 1 minute last night. Look, this is the same story. We crossed the 200, we were gone. Like, so whether you traded the 5-day chart right here and made massive gains, but it took you months, or you traded the 1 minute and made massive gains, and it took you a half an hour to maybe 4 or 5 hours, right? That would have been from about 11:30 at night till 3 in the morning, 4 hours trade, right? This is my bread and butter here. This is the lowest risk trade in the game. The flag above the 200 with the 21 touching. And it will give you that measured move of the previous flag, and you're going, you know. You can't beat the setup. I've tracked it for years. And look, it starts with the reversal below the 200 of a head and shoulder pattern. Unbelievable, right? So then what you can do is if you want to get real crazy with it, you can take the Baz pattern. You can snatch that up, right? And then you can say, well, this is what we're looking for when we get the reversal. Now you can backtest this for years on end like I have, and you can do what I've been doing, and you can start to see how price action forms, what it does, and where it goes. Then you'll start knowing what you have to see in order to get what you need to, you know, what's supposed to happen. And you start matching, right? And you see like how it's just an algo that can basically copies itself over and over and over again. Like they're, you know, to the point of no return. You can match these pretty close. Look at that. I mean, so, and then that's why people trade these patterns. Not because it's voodoo, not because it's a joke, not because it's funny. Not because retail gets wrecked trading them. Because they play out. Now, this could go down and you'll take out the bottom. You're like, oh, it didn't play out. It's okay. It's not going to play out every single time. And you should understand like a little bit of what's going on. But there's a high probability this could break out. But look, my indicator says there's a divergence here. We got overbought on the stochastics RSI. And you'll have a local support of resistance too. Support of resistance is just as strong as your patterns, just as strong as your divergences. Well, you can see it. You'll see it play out over time. I mean, that was a beautiful inverted head and shoulder in the past there. So we're looking to plug the hole. Can we stop the pain here for Bitcoin? Get the bounce back to the upside. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to talk about stuff like that. Yeah. That's someone who's like, I think you're spreading some fear. But God bless you, man. But I'm not into it. Yeah. Just not even going to really. I appreciate the super chat. God bless the support. Yeah. I mean, to me, you've got a 68% chance you're going to rip. And what I do is I just watch the 5 second. Got to get over the 200 moving average. You did. Then I watch the 30 second. Same story, morning glory. We got to get above the 200. This looks very similar to the 1 minute. I mean, we could be getting a nasty bear flag here. I don't have any big longs open right now. I've closed all my bigger positions. I'm just kind of sitting and waiting here for Bitcoin to do something, you know, that I'm looking for. I didn't get my signal. Look, see, it was a short signal right here. We lost the 1 minute 200 moving average, right? When we lose the 1 minute 200, that's the time to short. Just like when we gain it, that's the time to long. Just like you'll start a bear market when you lose like the 3-day or the daily 200 moving average. It's the same idea that you'll start a bull market when you gain it. So can we recover here and get this pump? Can we kind of cup and handle our way out of here for BTC? Are we going to collapse and not able to get back above support or resistance? I mean, even right there, look, bounce. That's why you can see we're having a problem here. You had a lot of chop right here. So you got to get, this is resistance on the 1 minute. 111,870. 777's flashing for the lifer. We caught it. Here's the cup and handle. Cup, handle, technically your money printer. If it can come down, or it would bring it up to the candle body, almost the 618 there. Let's go. Can we get the reversal? This is how so I've watched daily candles with 777s and 111s. It's pretty crazy, right? It likes to sit there for me. Anyway, God bless my dad and mom. God bless you, Dad. I love you. I know that's my dad saying what up. With the sevens, man. He loves sevens. Watching over his kid. God bless my parents. I lost them both. I'm an orphan out here in these streets. Sammy the orphan. Could I have another, please? Could I have another bow, please? Sammy Twist. I think an orphan, you have to be born without parents, right? I had parents. I now don't have them anymore. Does that make me an orphan? No. Am I a widowed boy? How does that work? May I have another bow, please?
No. You'll have 10 lashings for asking again. Now send him to work in the fields till his hands hurt.
So, yeah, can we get this move to the upside is what we're looking for. And again, I'm taking you through the motions of how price action works. I'm showing you how when you dig deep, you can find the reversal by using small time frames. Don't get distracted. People will tell you there's noise in the 1 minute. You're going to get rocked and wrecked. You will. Most people will. Most people have no idea what's happening, but we sat here and dissected this for basically years. If you come to this channel, this isn't the first time we've done this, and it won't be the last. Okay? Look, so we also use liquidity with us, and we still got big red above us now. Liquidity has switched. There's a good amount below, but it's the biggest red is right there. They may dip it to 109,750, but man, we got 113,450 and 118,000 kind of going our way. It's funny, the guy that was in IP left to go work somewhere. I like Chronos right here. It looks beautiful on the daily. It will take some time. Again, you don't want to chase what's hot. Wow, that thing boomed, huh? Wow, we're starting to see a pretty big surge here in altcoins. Something's happening. I mean, altcoins are ripping. Look at this thing. This was $3, and now it's $11. You're seeing 3Xs now, and people are saying, oh, you can't make your money in altcoins anymore. That bah humbug. A coin just did it turned like $3,000 and did 280,000 in a couple days for a lot of people. Like, this is insane what's been going on. My X was out of control, right? So, I'm going to start heavily altcoin hunting now. Like, I've been woken up. Like, I don't want to miss anything else. Like, I want to be on it. Look at IP was in a beautiful flag, touching the 21. You look at it on like the 8 hour, it looked beautiful. 4 hour, look, the moving averages were even tighter, nice tight. I mean, that's what you go for. Measured move takes it to 12.19. That's a pump and a half, but the moving averages were tight. Never had a father and a mother. Had me up in 5. But lucky to have love. God bless you, man. Super chats, Ethereum, AXS, IP, and KEDA. Let's take a look at KDA, because KDA is getting added to Coinbase, which I think is a big deal. KEDA, baby, KEDA. Does it get the Coinbase sell-off? Sometimes it gets a Coinbase sell-off. KEDA also very new here to MEXC. I'm going to look at KEDA on the decentralized. And there's DJI 6930 just... Oh, man, I had faith that it was going to be the meme of memes. No. Never really, so far, hasn't taken off. And I'm not good at, like, pumping stuff. I own it. If you'd like to look into it, it might be the bottom. I don't know. I'm the worst show there ever was. Like, I can only talk about things I use. Like, here's an exchange. I use it. I like it. You know? Boom. Here's a bot. I use the bot. I like it. Boom. Like, if someone's like, hey, can you talk about this coin for... No. You know, the beauty of my channel is I gain trust with my viewership and my community through showing up every single day. I would lose all that trust if I showed the coin. You know what I mean? So I can't do that. Like, it doesn't work. So my brand doesn't allow it. It just doesn't fit for the brand. It would destroy the brand. You know, we've all decided. So people hit us up. We're just like, that doesn't fit with our business model. No offense to you. Like, we're very nice about it. But yeah, so we're not shilling your project, your coin, nothing. If I don't use it, I'm not into it. You know what I'm saying? If I use it, I think it's cool. It's an exchange. If the fees are lower and there's a chance to save my community some money and you got the good security, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a really simple guy. I look for fees with low exchanges for my community to help them out. That's about it. Everything else to me is a waste of time right now. DEGEN, please. Much love. Shout out to George Wingard. We love you, man. I think because the charts leave the footprints of what the news could be. I mean, it's an amazing way they move together. You know. Right? So yeah. There was a 900K Dow jobs report revision over the past year this morning. Hence the dip. But this should guarantee 5% cut in rates. Yeah, we want to see that, Kurt. 100%. And we'll take a look if it's across the board on the S&P, the NASDAQ. Really, I just want to make sure this 5-day candle closes green right there. That's just all that matters to me. And then we're off to the races, back above the 200, and boom. A short-lived dip for a nice rip, right? Things are looking pretty interesting for BTC. Wow, so it made this kind of inverted head and shoulder, fell to the downside. That looks like it's gonna continue to dump. I'd say you're headed back down to possibly 111,000. Unless you try to triple bottom here, double bottom. It fell out the bottom trend line. Once you lose the trend line, either this top trend or this bottom one, you got to kind of, that tells me we're going lower, right? Again, you don't see me live trading. I don't see my model. I'm not trading my model. See how the discipline I have? I'm not just going to go, oh, I'm jumping in the short right now because no. It doesn't work like that, right? I agree. Trading the bigger time frame chop hardly matters on the 4-hour or the daily, 100%. You just stick to what it is. You'll see drawdown on your account. Like if you want to stare at the price action, you'll definitely be like, whoa, I was up, I was down. But if you just kind of look at structure and you make sure the key levels that you looked at aren't broken, then you have nothing to worry about. It's pretty simple. I love this show. Thank you, Sammy. You are my Jim Rohn. God bless Mr. Miller. God bless you. I'm secretly hoping for a dump because I'm not in a trade right now. Me too, kind of. Sorry. You know what I mean? Because, and the lower it gets, the better my range is when I get back above the 200 moving average. You see what I mean? Like they pull it, then I'll get more of a move back up too. They bounce it now, And again, I don't like to see Bitcoin dump, but it is what it is. I'll take, it is whatever it is. Wow, Bitcoin 111,450 for BTC. All right. Someone said MyX. Please look, man. We did take a look at MyX. So we took Bitcoin all the way for the monthly down to the 1 minute time frame, which is pretty epic, right? We were looking at it's kind of in like a Livermore cylinder. Bounce off the low at $12 all the way back to 17. Impressive business here. And I'm attempting to make some sense of it. Possible shoulder, head, right shoulder there. Like it could make this type of pattern here now. It's more bullish than bearish at the present moment in time, and it could get to 35. I mean, it's out of control right now. It would have to make an insane parabola right now, though. I feel like it almost dipped from the parabola. If you chase, just know that, be okay with getting hit. You're chasing the top of an insane rally, right? So there could be more explosive coming. I've learned, when you're first in the market for 5 to 10 years, you'll chase almost all of those. You'll win some, you'll lose some. But if, like me, you slowly DCA'd into Bitcoin over time and eventually just saw your life change, and then you also made, 100Xs here, 50Xs, 20Xs in alts, and you just kept grinding, I have to be honest, maybe I'm grandfathered in, but, I don't get the FOMO anymore like I used to. I used to be like, oh, my God, I got to run into that now. Now I'm just like, I didn't always rush in. I did research my butt off. I stayed close to the market. I worked every single day. I didn't take a day off. But I never rushed in. I missed some big drops, right? And I wasn't always in the hottest coin at the perfect time sometimes. But I made it, man. And I know you can too by being humble, by focusing, and just, I know this is going to sound so freaking corny, but keeping your energy and your frequency high. If you focus on your energy and your frequency, number one, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place. I'm telling you right now, as crazy as it sounds. Everything will fall into place for you exactly like it should. You'll have no issues. It'll be the way, right? It'll be the way. I'm telling you, it'll rip for you. It'll be an amazing metamorphosis in your life too. So anyway, let's get back in here to see what's happening. So Bitcoin's struggling, which is going to affect altcoins somewhat, but Bitcoin dominance was doing some good damage too. Let's take a look at our key levels, what Bitcoin, what we're going to drop to. So to me, you've now shoulder, head, and right shoulder. You've given up this reversal, right? You can see it didn't happen. Possible double bottom now. Remove this for here because, possible double bottom. Oh, wow, crazy move. I'd say you head down to 110,009. And if you lose 110.9, you got to start thinking you're going to drop somewhere down to 110,000. Right there. Look, you can see that big bounce. You also don't want to lose the 1 hour 200 moving average. That would be pretty bearish. Bitcoin's been dumping now for the last 2 hours. Just, he did say we had data come in where they revised the jobs data, right? And that created some bearishness. Did that show up on 4? I think there was some, let me see here. Yeah, small business index too. That came in as a nothing burger. Tomorrow morning, we have to look out for CPI month over month. PPI month over month, right? And they got it locked in at 0.3 forecasts. Previous was 0.9, so we'll see what happens. We want to see that coming in, at least a little lower than previous, so we don't get a nasty dump. So and then Thursday we have core CPI. Core CPI month over month, CPI month over month, and CPI year over year, and unemployment claims. That's a lot of data in one drop that the market's going to react to. All right, so get ready for Thursday and Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning. And then, man, we're 5 days away. We're basically almost a week away from that rate cut. Or we don't know what's going to happen. It could be, we don't know exactly what they're going to do. Are they going to cut it? Are they going to, but it's looking very likely like we're going to get a beautiful rate cut. It looks to me like we could be getting a double rate cut. All right. So price action has just been doing its thing. Down at the bottom of the range, back to the higher part of the range, bottom of the range, higher part of the range, bottom of the range. If it breaks down now, though, we're in, it's looking like a bigger dump. If it breaks back up, then, my assumption here that we're in that consolidation is just making sense. But we're getting pretty close. We can't be losing. It looks like we lost the 15-minute 200 moving average. We did it last night, though. We kind of played around at that key area. And we showed you kind of the bear flag there. I'm deleting it now in the 1 minute because I just want to see this in clarity. But that's not a good sign. You don't want to close a candle below the 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. That says you're going to go and try to test usually at least the 30-minute 200, which you are now. You lose the 30-minute 200, you're going to test the 1 hour. How do I know all this? I study this stuff. I backtested it and played with it. So it looks like 110.9 is very likely. So I see a drop for whatever reason. Bitcoin's bearish today. And looks like we're going lower. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. I guess the NASDAQ and the S&P are both dumping as well. And they are, right? From 23.8 all the way back down to 23.733. Not the worst, but getting a bit of a dump here on the nasty NAS. I see this is a breakout of this trend line. So whatever it does is fine. I'm actually expecting it to wick back inside pattern or to just basically wick. I see this as like a short inducement that will likely clean itself back up. Get a bounce here, go sideways, and we'll be ripping somewhere by Thursday. It says by the September 11th, we could be absolutely getting ready to pump, to pamp to the upside. We want the pamp, and we want it now. Pamp it. Pampers for life, baby. You know what I mean? No, but seriously, let's take a look at the S&P futures, ES1, and see how S&P is looking. Same story, morning glory. Nothing has changed in this beautiful uptrend. I see it going sideways, so I don't know. The world markets don't look like a huge dump is coming. Maybe a wick for Bitcoin down to 11,000 to use the scarcity Get it? The scarcity. Scare a city. How do you make scarcity? You scare a city. Scarcity, scare a city. Huh. How do you scare a city? Tell them that there's scarcity. Tell them the water's light. Tell them that it's not going to happen. Tell them that the storm's going to be too strong. Scare the heck out of them and then control them, right? It's so crazy. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I think that's what they do to us, you know? And all the words are right there. His story, history was his story, right? They don't tell you what happened. They tell you what they want you to know. They stole history from us. We don't know half the truth about who we are, where we come from, what's going on, right? The moon has things on. I mean, the moon, man. Like the moon was, I believe, you know, who knows? I can't get into it. Anyway, another time. Another time. But you don't go to the moon in 19-something and never go back. Even though you're super innovative and you've been doing things like, why isn't Elon at the moon, man? If they could get to the moon in 1969, how come Elon didn't get to the moon? What's going on? Don't you ask these questions? You know, and then people will give you great answers. They'll make perfect sense. Right? But look, if you just zoom out and don't ask for logic and just look at time and say, well, why didn't we, you know? Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense because we've already been there. There's nothing there. There's no reason to go there. It's a waste of time and money. We're getting to Mars now. Okay, I'll give it to you. He ain't fooling nobody. He ain't letting her go, right? They never landed on the moon. We lost the technology to go to the moon. Sam, you're funny, man. Amen, amen. They covered up Tartaria, 100% Tartaria, my man. Whoa, 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 let's keep it crypto over here. I know, right? So the S&P looking beautiful for a massive pump. This is, the charts are telling us. Either something horrible happens and they collapse the market, which could happen, back down into 62, or we're going to go parabolic. But something absolutely insane is coming. That's the thing about the charts. They may not tell you what exactly will happen, but they tell you when it will. Like in the next few weeks, there's going to be a move for Bitcoin. And look, you think it's uncanny that we're getting tighter and tighter into September 17th? Like the rate cut and the TA is spot on together? It's just crazy, right? Like we're not here in the wide part of the range when we're getting the rate cut. We're definitely we're up, down, up, down, up. We've been getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Like range-bound decision. So when I look at the bigger picture of the markets and I see the world liquidity, it's telling me it's very likely we're going to get a bounce here for Bitcoin right now on the 1 hour time frame. I would wait for the tweezer bottom. So we're going to wait for the next candle to close, next to this red candle. But if I get a green candle to close next to this red candle, I believe I would trade it back up to the top of the range. It is a Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. No, it's a Tuesday, right? My goodness, the week is going. It's a Tuesday, 9/9. Beautiful day of the year, right? She's a beauty, that number 9. So we're looking for the bounce. Super risky and super aggressive is to get in right now with an aggressive below the wick right here and say, you know what? I got this 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio. I'm just going to hunt for 600 over here. I'm going to go all the way to the upside. Hey, you got this. You got this. But that's just one idea. Okay. We shall see. But I do like a possible bounce here back to the top of the range. Just looks like Bitcoin's just kind of hanging out in the range. I'm looking for the bounce back to the top somewhere around now. Around 11,350, 11,005 in this pocket here. It would make sense. 30-minute bounce off the 200 moving average. The 30-minute 200 caught us like the wind in a leaf. Just, right? No, you're not going to hit the ground. You're going to float right back to the upside over here. I'm going to blow you up like a tornado in Kansas. So there you go. All right. I'm calling this bounce here for Bitcoin back to the top of the range. And I'm telling you when it's likely going to happen here. We called it last night right there. We nailed it. Can we do it again right here live on Kamauno? All right, so yesterday right there we showed you this, the bounce is coming. We get back above the 50-minute 200, we're gone too. But the 30-minute held us. You close back below the 30-minute 200, this whole scenario is a wrap. So, and again, I could be wrong. As right as it all sounds and as good as I make it look, I could be wrong. But the odds are with me. The odds that this is going to pump back to the upside here is very high for BTC. 111,457 for Bitcoin. So absolutely beautiful place to be here. And then we get back to the top of this range, 112,687. All right. Again, we close below. We could continue to dump. I am looking at the smaller time frames. They're a little weak. Like that actually looks like a descender. I do it like this. And descending triangle is done, but it also has a head and shoulder pattern inside of it. Square my wrist away here. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, it looks like it's going down to 110,770. I mean, yeah, that looks bearish. So I know I just talked a good game of that looks like a bounce and all that. But the small time frames are giving me a different signal. They're saying no. Like this would be your diagonal neckline. This would be a drunken head and shoulder pattern. It's not always laterally perfect. So we basically have to bounce 350 here. You don't bounce at 11,350, the rest of the day could be chucked down to 110.8. You bounce here, we play into that 30-minute bounce, we get back to the top of the range, and everything I just said is 100% true. This is a very aggressive entry right here for a long, because there's a lot of fear right now, and you can see a bit of a double bottom too. I used to take a lot of longs like these, and I had a scattered P&L, right? Now I just wait for the two. I just wait for the right. Why do you don't have to do anything that you haven't backtested. Repeat after me. I don't have to do anything I haven't backtested. Repeat after me. We're going to say it 5 times together. I don't have to do anything I haven't backtested. I shan't do anything I haven't backtested. I should not do anything I haven't backtested. I should not take a trade that I haven't backtested the probability on. I shouldn't take a trade that I haven't backtested the probability on. There's a little bit of bullish div. There's a little bit of data here that I got going on, but it's not amazing. I know it just has to be the bottom logically based on the level that we're at. We have to bounce. If not, we're cooked. You know what I mean? It's like either bounce or down here. That's the only reason I would take the trade with the stop loss below the 30-minute 200 moving average. But it would be at a very aggressive entry. Very aggressive. It does look fun, though. I do like fun trades. I like trades that make you feel like a legend when you take them. Because what's the point, right? Why just take a regular trade when you can be a legend? Anybody could take a regular trade. I want to be a legend. Hey there, legend. Shout out to all my legend traders here. They're so funny, man. Oh, he's a legend. Hey. So you'd be basically using the 30-minute 200 moving average to enter this trade here. Speculating on the win. Back to 112.8. 112.8 with a stop at 111.208. This would be the idea on the trade, right? 100 for 500. I'll take it. I like the odds. I like that little sound too that BitDinex gives you. I'm live trading BitDinex right now. Jump on it today. And they hooked us up just yesterday. They're going to continue to do so. They love our community. And they'll find ways to make it worth our while. I like BitDinex with the bounce here off the 30-minute. It did it yesterday too. Perfect trade. One there, you could have done the same thing. Got in right there, stop loss below, nailed it. Got in there, stop loss below the wick, nailed it. We're going to try the same attempt here, 3 for 3 on the move. We'll see what happens. The risk is very risky. And don't do what you see anybody do here on YouTube. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the education, please don't copy. Please get yourself an education. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice. This is a reality TV show of my life. I trade every day. I let you guys see what I'm doing behind the scenes. It's really a vlog of my life. I just happen to be, this is what I'm going to be doing for 2 hours a day. And I take you into the screen that I'm using. And I talk through it and we go through it and we have a blast together like we do every single day. God bless everybody here on the channel. Thank you. You're amazing. So Kita, added to Coinbase. Sometimes it's a sell-off. I'm just looking for it to consolidate then. Just like on track, nothing really changed. But it does tell me you can get to 319 from this dollar. That would be a beautiful 3x, right? That would 3 times its worth. So we'll see. But I like what I'm seeing for Kita. And let's take a look at the overall bubbles here on the altcoins. General, not amazing in the last hour for altcoins, right? As Bitcoin took that move down. Last day, too. Even Somi took, metal up, a few winners, but not a lot. On the week, Somia Network was the big gainer. We saw some, MPLX had a big move. We saw that other big move yesterday, right? In MYX. It's just so we've seen some crazy stuff go on, right? That we haven't seen in a while for altcoins. Right here hasn't captured the full picture, but it is, look, it's green for altcoins in the last week. Last month, it's back and forth, but still overall, we've got some big green winners, but not amazing. And in the last year, still some big winners over time. All right, not too bad over here. Hey. So, yeah, a useless coin. I love it, right? Only in crypto would you have a useless coin. Wow, the 1 minute is showing signs of weakness here. Every time we dig out, it kind of folds over. It's like I thought we were done with that move, right? It could be a very drunken slanted, like shoulder, head, shoulder. So that's why I just get above that 5-second 200 moving average. What you play games with it, but you got to get above it strong. Then get above the 30-second 200. Then the 1 minute. Then you can start to actually build something that the day could begin with. I took a very, very high risk shot, but you can see I risked $100 for $500. You know what I mean? A smart trade, in my humble opinion. Good risk. And I knew what I was doing. So when I started using the 200 moving average, I started being able to take 5-to-1, 7-to-1s, 8-to-1s, even 10-to-1s, heck, sometimes even 15-to-1 trades. Imagine that, risking $100 for $1,500. Many times I'm able to take $700 and turn it into $600, $800, $900, 100%, 90%, 80%, 120%. A lot of my trades are $500 and I'm making $300. So I'm using $1,200 and I'm making $800. There are some bigger trades where I scalp big time frames. I use 200 moving average and I scalp 200K on the 4 hour of the daily for 16, 17 hours in a swing, and then I'm out. Make a couple grand. And that was always my dream. All right. Look at MyX, just bounced off 11. Yeah, just continuing to do damage. Look at that thing. I mean, to me, it's really just throw your money in the bucket. I mean, who knows? Again, I'm not saying, do whatever makes you happy. This thing just, that old saying though, it just looks like it's just gonna, who knows? Altcoin is outlined by design for the divine. Shout out to Stack, big change in the game. God bless you, Stack. I was thinking about you intently last night, and then you just appear. I swear we live in a simulation, man. I swear we do. I was like, where's my man Stack at? And then there he is. Ready for altcoin season. Ready to get it in. Sammy, should I exit my cast below? My entry is 0778. Need advice? It's up to you, man. I would never tell you what to do with your long. So sorry, my man. I can't give you that. I don't give advice. You know what I mean? I would never tell you what to buy or sell, man. You're going to have to figure out all that on your own with your own education, your idea. I don't know where you are in life. I don't know how much you put. You know what I mean? There's so many questions that have to be answered that have nothing to do with technical analysis. And I'm not ready to answer those questions. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to go over anyone's portfolio or tell them what to buy and sell. I don't do that. I don't advertise it. If someone says that's me doing it, it's a scam. It ain't me, baby. I mean, look, this is a half a rounded top. Those are usually bearish as heck. See the roundedness? I mean, that's rounded. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. It looks like a complex head and shoulder that wants to dump on you. So I tried to take the aggressive long on that 30, but it looks like I'm probably going to get taken out here pretty fast. Who knows, though? We're right on the edge. You never know. It was a very aggressive entry, and they may ping me out and then rip the thing. You never know. These are not easy to do. This is very high risk. That's why I just wait for my 1 hour, my 1 minute. Like, that's why this was like kind of a play trade, but you never know. It could turn into $500. So it's worth just, for me, it's worth taking a shot off because you just never know. For when it comes to this coin now, you just want to say, well, can it stay above 15 now? It's going to make kind of a shoulder ahead and another little right shoulder there. And could that just launch? I mean, there's a chance anything could happen at this point. It's crazy, right? It gives you that anxiety you want to chase. Bitcoin, we're finally seeing 250. We haven't seen 250 the whole stream. So breaking down for sure. BTC, and you can see this is a descending. You can see it, right? Like price action's telling you what it wants to do. It didn't make a beautiful reversal pattern. It tried one right here that got completely rejected. It started to pump. So it lost its best pattern, right? SEI looking to stay above the 200 moving average. On the daily, he says, let's take a look at SEI as Bitcoin's continue to, I see it stopping somewhere around 11,140. And we'll go from there. Altcoins don't care as Bitcoin dominance is falling like a rock. Like a rock. So the daily here for Bitcoin, for SEI, looks a lot like SWE. They look very similar. And again, there's that same cup with the handle on like 90% of coins. It just depends on where the coin is. This one's above its daily 200 moving average. I like it. Whatever happens to the market, up and down, I just look for it to kind of slowly do its thing and then eventually break on out. An Adam and Eve double bottom for sure too that could break out. I just like what I'm seeing. I've got my bag of SEI just stored up and ready to rock. And I've been waiting patiently now for my time to shine. And it's just taken forever. I have to be honest. It's taken forever, but it's okay. It's not about when. It's just about being able to hang until the time is right. Nothing is going to do for a one-on-one. I may just need to rent and take a drive up there. Time is flying to the thing. 2030 is 5 years away. Isn't that crazy, man? Nasty buying 50 million in Gemini. Interesting. The greatest crypto trading channel on the planet. Thank you for saying that. That's very nice of you. And then we're getting the Gemini IPO, right? That's coming out. And that's going to be a big deal. Listen, if you ever need any help with anything, ask Grok. Grok will be there for you. You see what I'm saying? So you can just be like, hey, yada, yada, yada. Whatever you're trying to figure out, Grok will give you a pretty good and interesting advice about. 9 for 9 repeats completion. The giver. Stack McChange. God bless you, man, on the 9s. Nothing is a coincidence. I love you, Stack. Bottom of the old sin wave. Sammy, I appreciate your positivity every single day. God bless you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Wow, there's been doing damage, possibly bouncing off the 21 on the 1 hour time frame, because someone's putting a treasury in Wildcoin, right? You've seen that? Wildcoin treasury. That's creating some buzz too, as well. Look at that thing. Started ripping off the news. Wow, we went from $1 to $2 over in 2 days. 100% gains. We talked about it down there. And, 86 cents. I never loved the coin, but I mean, you could tell it wanted to eventually break out those higher lows. And that's what happens, man. When these altcoins rip, they're going to rip like one huge candle. Like, they rip fast. Then they find retest. Then they get out of the doldrums pretty fast. People forget how fast things can change. You can be holding the coin for months, and you can be up 200% in a day, Look, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. So many coins have the low, the cup, the handle, and they're right at the daily 200 right there, and they're about to blast. OMNI looks very similar, right? So I'm going over the market, and I'm showing you, I've got so many setups in the group, and I'm teaching you guys, like, this looks exactly like the rest of these coins. Why? You never know. It may not do it. You never know. That's the sad part about trading. We don't know for a fact about anything. Nothing is like, yep, that's guaranteed, because nothing's guaranteed. But the odds of this thing doing something crazy like we just saw are huge. I mean, it's got the big cup. It's testing the 200 moving average. It's got the higher low. I don't own any of this coin. It matters not to me what it does. But it's just something on the radar here. Wow, Bitcoin taking the dump exactly like it said it would. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. The complex head and shoulder to the downside below the 200 moving average. And how's that trade? I must be out of it right now, right? Yeah, they took me out. Looks like a good bounce now. Again, that's what I get for not trading my model. But that's got it. Usually they're going to rip that right back to the upside. That's a fast liquidity grab. Look, when a massive red, massive green. Massive red, massive green. I'm still convinced the pump is coming back to the upside at one point here. Rock, tell me when to hit long or short. You're funny. Sam, I joined the 99 last night within 2 hours, made a trade that paid for the month. And then some, thanks to your guidance. For anyone on the fence, it's worth it. That's crazy, man. So you joined last night, and within 2 hours, you made a trade that paid for the month, and then some, thanks to my guidance. Unbelievable. Well, you just made my day, man, because if every day someone says that to me, I've done my job, right? Like, I've done it. Like, you've paid 99 and you've gotten way more than you paid for so far. You know, that's why I want people to keep it. I want people to grow. I want people to learn and not give back gains. But that's a blessing. You're an amazing person for staying disciplined and following whatever system you use to get the gains. We crossed that 200 on the 15. There was definitely a big reversal coming. I was able to see it. I hope you were able to ride that thing up to the upside. God bless you, man. And last night was a great pump, which means today is a little struggly because last night was the pump. I can identify when to trade based off of liquidity, based off moving averages. Okay. Wild and Mayax have given some of the best returns since I started trading. I owe it all to you, Sammy. I wouldn't have found them without the knowledge you've given. Thank you for all that you do. God bless you. Thank you for saying that too, man. I can't believe that. Throw him a super chat. You guys are funny. The 99 pays for itself every single month, says Biscuit. I'm not saying that. I'm reading a super chat. I never want to be quoted as like guaranteeing things. Right? But I mean, he said he loves it. Biscuits, I love you, man. Thank you so much. That's why I never understand, you know, we provide such a beautiful place to be. I'm going to join the trading group. Come on in, KT the Greek. Make it better, bro. The more people we have with their head on right and discipline, the better the group is. The group is as good as the people that join it. I can make a great group, right? But if the wrong people join the group, then the group can't really survive. It's not the same. If everyone's there for a quick buck and they're, you know, and they get angry when it doesn't happen their way and it's all emotions, that's not going to be fun. That's a lot of trading groups, right? I attempt to go after the long-term effect here. We do leverage trade. I do like the 1 minute. I'm in and out. Don't get me wrong, but I have a long-term bag of Bitcoin. I'm never, you know, I don't plan on selling for a long time. I DCA'd in. These are all things, you know, I've stuck to a long-term plan that's got me where I'm at today. And I reiterate that every single time to everybody. You know, so leverage trading is fun and all that. Bit10x, it's all great. But the long-term, you know, the key is to make wins on leverage trading and to stash those wins long-term. For me, personally, into Bitcoin or some asset that I believe could do damage on a swing, right? Can we get a bullish divvy here with the bounce? Bitcoin's attempting to find a bounce place. Can it bounce? It's on a high volume node right here. It's like right there at 100. It's like, whoa. But man, there's the descender telling us it's going lower. 110,108. Shout out to the 99ers that have been doing great in the lifer gains. We all appreciate our mentors, Sammy and Master Friend. Join the best community in the space. Shout out to Andrew Yurkovic for the $4.99. Thank you so much for paying to promote the space, man. You're amazing. You didn't have to give, but you did. You always seem to give every day. I've lost 40K. Now I have only 4K left. Thinking only trade into Tau and CAS. Am I right? Please reply. I will never tell you what to do with your money. I would get an education. If I were you, again, I know it's cliche as heck, but I would join my class, man. Like, jump on into class, get an education. I do know that class has helped thousands of people. I don't think you would be any different. It would teach you proper risk management, maybe for the first time in your life, and square you away. Give you some discipline to follow and give you actually a system to be guided by. And we repeat the same notion in the class inside of the trading group. Another thing, people seem, they you know, if you're a beginner and you're lost in the trading group, right? You join the group and you seem lost, right? Go to the watch first video, all right? And watch this video. It's going to tell you what's going on. And then go to read first. Okay? Very important. And in read first, right? There's a beautiful class that I put together which is basically like a nice, quick version of my beginner's course that'll at least start to square you away. Most people aren't watching this, man. This is something that people gotta get on, right? So I'm gonna post that to the group right now immediately. But that you gotta get into that. You gotta get into that. All right. That'll blow your mind. That'll get you going. You watch that course, and that's going to square you away and really get you started in the, if you're confused in my group, you just got to watch that. All right. That will square you away. From there, begin to post inside of the content directory where we have actually in the learning library. All right. And I have hours where I'm going to be in there. You can ask me questions and hang out. Okay. So we're going to start posting those for you too. I'm in for this month's class. It's one of my goals for the year. That's awesome. And look, we lost 111,000. Bitcoin said it was going down the way we looked at it, right? You could see the next stop was 110,758. We lost the 200 moving average up here, right? No reason to be inside of a long. For any reason, it just didn't, it doesn't look good. We wait our turn now. You see what I'm saying? There will be a bounce. At one point, we will cross the 1 minute 200, but it wasn't it. We lost the 30 minute 200 too, and we lost it nastily. And now we're losing the 1 hour. When you lose the 1 hour, you're headed back down to the next big support, which is 110,000. So nasty little dippage here for Bitcoin. Liquidity grabbing world markets, and that will affect your alts. They will pull back a little bit. Today feels kind of like a dreary Friday for a Tuesday. It's pretty strange price action right now. I would be careful. I could tell you when to chill. I could tell you when to go hard. We can see the markets pretty well. They tell us with pretty good accuracy when we should put more money in the market and when the market is just a day to observe, right? Someone asked me about Axie Infinity, doing what we see in a lot of coins with the shoulder, the cup and the handle there, but more kind of condensed. Very tight below that daily 200. Looks like, gaming wants to eventually make a move on out of here, but it might come back down one more time to 230, get very tight for 4 or 5 more days before it can start its bigger breakout to the upside. But once it gets above the 200 of the daily, it's gone. I do see it headed to 350, and it says it can get there somewhere by October 13th. Okay. Hang out with like-minded individuals in the 99 and join now. Servando Estrada, 100%. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. Be able to speak freely for the first time in your life without profanity. Talk about your ups and downs. Let people know who you are and begin to grow. That's what my group is for. I thank the Lord every day I have spot bags. One day I'll get the levered trading. I'm getting better day by day as a person with all your teachings. Thank you, Sammy and Master Friend. Love you. Love you, J Soul. Just don't give up, man. And shout out to my buddy Master Friend. God bless everybody here on the live. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Without your time, there is no show. I reiterate this over and over and over again. XRT USD on Kraken. Crypto.com too as well. It just looks like it's in the dumps. I don't know what to say about this coin. It's at the bottom. Either you believe in it and you think this bottom price is amazing, or you don't. That's where it really comes down to at $2. And I can't say it's going to rip or not. I can't tell you. It's just been going back and forth in a range literally since March 29th. Get it above the 200 on the daily and we can talk. Right? And maybe this is the right one, right? Oh, man, DEGEN. When the market looked good, man, DEGEN looked like it was going to rip. I piled in and DEGEN just piled down on me. We got in like somewhere, must have been right here, right? It ripped and then dipped. Or maybe I got in at the 618 retracement there and then we kept going lower. I know I just DCA'd in and just, man, I like it. It's got that same cup and handle. It's not as aggressive as the best coins though. And base is quiet right now. It's not like, oh, base, Once Ethereum starts to rip again, but, Sol's kind of in the forefront. It's interesting. We need the ETH to rip and then base to get some notoriety again and then coin, So it looks interesting. It's got a cup with a handle, and it's only a matter of time this thing should break out and get to about 008872, but there's no guarantees at all, right? It's tight. It's basically high risk at this point. Get it above the 200 just like that other coin. And almost like a lot of coins look like this. A lot of coins have this exact same pattern, but they're above the daily like here, and they're doing it like this. And that's just a lot more bullish when the 200 moving average is here. other than capping it on top of price action. So you want to look at price. Now, the ones that are in the best discount are below the daily 200. The ones that are already beginning to move are above the daily. You know, so it's high risk, though. You don't know for sure if it's going to move. Buy top, sell bottoms, the pencil neck way. 100%, man. Sell that bottom and buy that top every time. You pencil necks over here. I'm an Aries. I get mad, but I never give up. 100%. We go through the motions. Our you know, our ups are hard. You know, our ups are high. Our downs are down. Like, we go through the ups and downs pretty hard as Aries. But, you know, we don't give up, man. I made it. You're going to make it, brother. Imagine one day you're going to be sitting there in whatever car you want, going on any trip you want, because you made gains. You know, it might take, what I tell everybody is, say, I'm going to be a multimillionaire. I'm going to make my first million in 5 years. And start right now. Start right now. Like, tell yourself it's going to take 5 years, though. Don't say I'm going to make $1 million. And you might say, I'm going to make $1 million this run. You could do that too and aim for the stars. And there's a good chance you might hit it. Like, you may, hey, don't sell yourself, I'm going to make $1 million by the end of the year. But, like, you'll force yourself to do, you know, what I would do is I would manifest it. I would write down $1 million under my pillow. I would watch videos about $1 million. I would watch videos about raising my frequency and my vibration. I would read books by Think and Grow Rich, and I would work on my mind and how to curate my mind so that nothing got into my head and that I was always able to use my mind to vibrate higher and to bring things closer to me. You know, I was watching someone the other day. They said the only, you know, if anything in life is you should be working on something you care about and grinding at it every day. He said anything else is a complete distraction. Like, anything else than that is a distraction. You know, I'm not saying, I mean, you have curate relationships with your family, be a good father and a good husband, right? I don't mean to, like, block out life. But, you know, when people, like, they go through the internet and watch nonsense, or you read, you know, it's like, if it doesn't help your cause or help you focus and discipline, then get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, simple, right? Keck for wrapped ETH, huh? You want some Kekis? Keck. So 4.6 mil. Had a nice pump off the bottom. I'll be honest, it looks somewhat interesting. It's, you know, it's doing its thing. If you believe it, you believe it. I don't know, man. You know, it's memes can do damage. This thing gets more eyes on it, it could dump. It's all about, like, its volume and liquidity, right? So, looks interesting. It hasn't, you know, it's above some previous resistances. It's in a mini uptrend. Trend is your friend. It's saying that it's in a trend. The target would take you to, what, 207, I don't know, you know, whatever that is, 002758 or whatever. 333 on the liquidity, 3333. Doesn't mean much to me, though. I'm not going to jump in because of that. So we're struggling. Bitcoin really needs to get back above 111,000. We're going to be in for more of a dump today, possibly, for BTC. ONDO, we're looking for ONDO. See, ONDO's in the cup with the handle, and we're looking for it to eventually just break out. It looks like we're going to see sideways price action until October, November. Not every coin looks amazing, or maybe we just break out of nowhere, which could possibly happen. All right, but this is just above the daily 200 moving average. Way better than being below the daily 200. But with this look, it's in the same pattern we're showing you. Like 99% of coins are in the cup and handle with the higher low falling wedge. There's even a bit of an Adam and Eve inside of this if you look at it closely. It just is what it is. I see it for what it is. I mean, that's a bullish sign. That means the bottomed out with the higher low. Beginning a new uptrend says we're going to the upside. Are we going to get there for sure? No guarantees. Thank you so much for those super chats. Ivan Roke asks about PONKE. He says, Sam, can you go over PONKE, please, for $2? Thank you so much, Ivan Roke. God bless you, man. You're amazing. Let's take a look at PONKE, PONKE. And I actually own some PONKE. I speculated on it with Pepe like it could do some damage. It was up pretty big. And RECC for Ivan Roke. We'll take a look at that, too. You've been on that. Granny is getting kicked clean down the stairs, Spartan style. Oh, what does that mean? Oh my gosh, I don't know what. That's not good to know. Super chat, PONKE and RECC. So PONKE is, you know, attempting to make a bit of an Adam and Eve double bottom, but it's a liability like a lot of other coins below its daily 200 moving average. Could be making an Adam and Eve here too. It could be the lowest price you ever get it before a huge pump, but it's high risk, high reward. Again, like I hold it, so I'm just going to hold it and hope it goes back and I get the money out. Other than that, I'm not going to be piling in or doubling down or adding more. By gosh means no. It's too high risk at this point. However, if I wasn't in it at all, might take a nibble. It could be the lowest chance ever, but I just... Sketchy business. Bit of a double bottom, though. I like what I'm seeing. I expect it to bounce. I've seen these type of bottoms many times, and they have played out over time, but it doesn't mean they're going to for sure. But it does say 27 cents somewhere by October 19th or 20th is very possible for PONKE. I wanted to see if they made it to the exchanges yet. Not just yet, but let's take a look at RECC. Really brandable with that yellow R, right? Hugging the $2 million market cap. Not enough people know about it. We found it here. It took a rippage. I mean, it's cool, but it's... I wonder, what is he saying? Everybody wants to tip later? Everybody wants to tip later. I don't know what he's saying. Everybody is a team player. Everybody is a team player. 123% gains. It does kind of look like a head and shoulder pattern. It's sketchy, but it's consolidating with a higher low. If it bounces and starts to get tight, there's a better chance it's going to pump. If you want to be extra careful with lower risk, then you wait for it to bounce above this resistance and retest right there. That is at 0.02914, if you were wondering. And the target looks like it can get to 0.05259. All right. It doesn't look bearish. It's still in an uptrend, but it's not, it's definitely a risk. RECC on Sol. We've been watching it for a few weeks now. Back and forth. 110,750 Bitcoin. Sketch zone. Now it's making another bear flag. So this looks like a liquidity grab for the day. See, we eventually that inverted would have started to pump. Now you get your next bear flag, and it's just, we're going lower. 110,373 is the next target for Bitcoin. Actually, a little lower than that. Sorry. Yeah, so that's it. 1,375. I'm really good at calling reversals. I can tell when we continue. This is a continuation pattern. If you flip it upside down, it's like, yeah. And I could be wrong, but I don't see us just whipping up right now. It's a dump right now for BTC. Bitcoin M pattern in the 1 hour. Sam, what do you think about the weekly RSI for Bitcoin? It's all right. There is beyond the dip. It could be. Can you have a look at Pengu USDT? Yes, I'll look at Pengu. Bless you too, Sammy. I have my first child coming in January, man. So let's get it. Thank you for everything. Ivan, God bless you, man. That's amazing, man. I have 3 kids, and a lot of the men here have their first kid on the channel. I hear about it. They share this news with me. What a great group of people here on the stream. God bless you all for kicking it with the lifer every single day. You people are absolutely amazing. I'm blessed to have this live stream. I'm blessed to have you here, and I'm blessed to kick it with each and every one of you every single day. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? 1,000 likes would be epic as all beans. I don't know what beans are, but it would make you laugh, right? Epic. And don't eat too many beans. You'll be ripping Bitcoin. Sam, I was more happy with your 100K than Bitcoin breaking 100. Fib levels say 250,000 followers by next new year, by the new year. God bless you, man. You're awesome, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much. Do you believe in waffles going on Soul Chain? I don't, but I hope it goes well for you if you'd believe in it. I don't want to, take away your syrup. The live is now more helpful than those 100 videos I've watched. This live is more helpful than those 100 videos I've watched. God bless you, man. I hope we went over a lot today. We talked about the movement of price action. We went over the power of the 200 moving average. I showed you how to transcend space and time through the 5-day and the 1-minute time frame, right? We made a live trade and get hit off, but I showed you how to lose properly. I showed you 8 of my last trades and showed you some powerful win rates. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, you can't beat it, right? It's a good channel. We had fun. We went over a lot of educational, mental stability. We talked about life in general, kind of how to position yourself. I feel like today was an absolute win and success. I don't know about you, but today was, and we're not even done yet. We're not even done yet. All right. We still got to look at BOOKMAP, make one more assessment here. Bitcoin could get back above 111,000. This could be the bounce here. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. This could be the end of the dumpage here. Back to the upside. Again, I don't stress. I just get above the 1 minute 200 later on today. That's all. Or maybe if we get it back above the 30 minute, I might trade it again. But smart move is just to wait for that. Now it looks like we may get a bit of a reversal here. A nice strong bullish div on my stochastics RSI with divergence indicator. It's giving us a reversal there, saying that is your higher low on the curve. So pretty interesting, right? I want to see us get back above 111,000. Would be epic. Would be some epic sauce. Look at that nice move back to the upside here. And I'm not in a short, even though I saw that short. Look at that. Get in right there and get out right there. I mean, what a perfect short. The measured move of the descending triangle. The descender, man. That's my bread. Like, that thing goes like, it's almost like the most, I've never seen that. I got to say, this pattern is 90% accurate. Like, when I see it, it's 90% it's going to do this thing. It's hard to find. You got to be pretty on it. And look, it was a slanted head and shoulder pattern too, which is easier to see if I make it a little more lateral. Well, you got the shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. And that puppy could dump to the downside like you read about, right? Long from the top after canceling my short from the top. Face palm, right? I don't like that double bottom left behind. It's okay. You believe it's going to get swept. Eventually, there is a double bottom that doesn't get swept at every bottom, right? It's my Friday today. Servano Estrada, God bless you. You work in the hospital or something on that 4-day shift? Or you're a fireman? I don't know. Something like that. Maybe you're an emergency doctor. They have funny hours, right? When you say Tuesday's your Friday, I don't know. I'm trying to make some sense over here. You got to have faith that God is sending you to the right place every time. Sometimes it's confusing. Sometimes you don't know why. Sometimes you don't feel like you're making the most progress like you were before. But have faith that for whatever reason you're in this period, right? There was times in my life where I wasn't, I didn't have the channel. We weren't ripping. I was in my house depressed, thinking about life. But now I'm able to help the same people that are in their house right now thinking about life depressed. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't go through the depression, I wouldn't be able to help others in that depression state. It's like I needed to have that and shed that skin to be able to help others do the same. Blessings on life, right? So at the time, I was really upset that I was in a rut. I look back now and I thank God for the rut that I was in because I use it to my advantage to help others. What a blessing, right? It's strange. Things that I thought were hurting me were actually the things that were making me who I was the whole time. But you know what? This comes with age, everybody. I'm finally 42. God says, hey, you're halfway through what could probably happen. I'm going to start revealing a little more to you than I did before. And if you stay true to God, you stay true to the source, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get told you're going to start to kind of learn the lessons of the universe. They're going to get spoken to you because you're a piece of the universe. You're learning it through consciousness. And when you put your best foot forward and actually believe, you actually become part of it all. That's when you learn the most, right? You got to become part of something. Like, say you went to class and you never paid attention and you slept in class. You wouldn't understand you wouldn't actually fail at the problems at all. You just wouldn't even do them. What if you went to class and you struggled and you actually didn't do well and then you got better at it, right? So struggling makes you better at things. You want to struggle into them. Life is the same way. You got to struggle to figure out the meaning of it all. If you don't struggle, then there's no meaning. Like, it's crazy, right? So you got to have another thing too is you want to tell someone your story, don't you, one day about crypto, how you made it? How you became a multimillionaire. Don't you want to tell that story? I do. I mean, this is a great story to have. I'm a self-made multimillionaire. What a story, right? I started a channel from scratch and built it all the way to 100K. What a story. I can look anyone in the face and I'm proud of what I've done with my life. You can see it. It's on paper. It's right there. You can go to the YouTube channel and check it out. You go to my website and see what I did with my life. You know what I'm saying? Proud, right? But that took years and years and years of dedication and work. So it's okay. Like, all we have to do is begin and believe in ourselves, right? And remember, I started trading 20 years ago. I didn't start teaching trading till I had about 15, 16 years of actual, like, in and out of many trades in my life. Like, I had been trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. I had speculated on marijuana stocks before. I had speculated on cryptocurrency as I, got into altcoins too as well. BitTrex, BitTrex, man. That was when we all started. When they began, there was no stable coins. You would buy Bitcoin, send Bitcoin to the exchange. There was no way to buy Bitcoin or do it. You had to buy Bitcoin and send Bitcoin to the exchange. Then you could trade altcoins in BTC pairs only. That was it. So when you were in the market, you were at the folly of Bitcoin no matter what. So when you looked at your balance, now luckily Bitcoin was ripping when I got in from 3,000 to 20,000. So Bitcoin went on a tear. So every time I got out altcoins, fine, there might be an up and downs, but so I'd rip in altcoins, get back into Bitcoin. Rip in altcoins, get back into Bitcoin. End up with piles of Bitcoin, altcoins ripping, you know what I mean? It was insane. So you were, the only beautiful thing about that was you were left with Bitcoin at the end if you traded well or you got lucky in some big hits. Before, you'd be left with Tether, and then you'd have to figure out whether you want to buy Bitcoin or not. They didn't get that wasn't an option back then when I started trading. There was no Tether, friends. So you know, it's crazy. You had to actually sell the Bitcoin, send the Bitcoin out of the exchanges, and you weren't going to do that. No one's going to do that. And then they realized that we needed Tether on these exchanges, or you know what I mean? And thank God now you can get in and out and not get rocked, and you can like keep yourself in capital while you're waiting. But I for the first few years of trading, we didn't have stable coins like that. 2016, 2015, 2008, 17. Really not until late 2017 into 18, and then really into 2018 strong and 19 did we really start to see the growing and the growth of Tether and USDC and other stable coins, right? You got to say this is turning into a head and shoulder pattern, right? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. I got to say our next target's going to be 110,350 Bitcoin on the dumpy. I'll find the reversal and we'll trade it at the right time. That's the key. This is trade answer, but what happens is this still the correction for more than a month ago. Is it going to make a higher low? Can you look at Bitcoin if it's like that? Thank you. It's possible. We did look at that. We look at that all the time. We looked at the monthly and the weekly. All right. Sometimes you got to leave the truck in the trench through the swamps of the sadness. I love that. God bless you. Yeah, it's never easy, and it's always alone when you're at that peak. Wow, so we made it. Unbelievable. And we're back at lunchtime. Who's hungry? Who wants to eat some lunch? Me, I do. Sammy, you sound like a crypto pioneer because I am. I got an early bird style. It changed my life. And you know, the opportunities aren't exactly the same. Of course, we're in different realms, almost a different decade now. But the idea that your drive can get you anywhere you want is fine. You know, if you believe in yourself, you'll be great. Right? Man, I hope we don't have a lunchtime dump. Hey, you never know. Looks like we're getting a lunchtime pump. I mean, that was a lot of dumping, Jamal. But you never know. Watch out for this right shoulder here. I'd be looking out for this right shoulder. There's a gap. It doesn't look strong. And we'd be looking for 110,350. Weird. Tether CEO lists 3 assets for dark times. Bitcoin mentioned. The Tether CEO, Paulo Adrano, issued an unconventional message this Tuesday. Bitcoin, gold, and land are the hedge against incoming darker times. Yikes. Creepy. Fresh U.S. data shows employment March 25th was revised down by 911,000 jobs, a huge miss that reshapes the outlook for monetary policy. At the same time, the Federal Reserve is forced to choose between 0.25 or 0.5 rate cut next week on Wednesday, highlighting just how controversial the economy looks headed into the end of the year. That's a good little tidbit of knowledge there at the beginning of that article. In that context, Adriano mentions darker times reflect the same pressure points policymakers are dealing with. Tether, though, is quite well prepared. Judging by Adriano's playbook, as of June, the company reported $162 billion in assets, dominated by $105 billion in U.S. Treasuries, but also holding $8.7 billion in precious metals and $8.93 billion in Bitcoin. So Tether itself has shifted a share of its backing. Isn't that crazy that stable coins hold all the treasuries? So is America backed by stable coins? Apparently so, right? I mean, it's pretty interesting. So is crypto backing America? Did crypto save America? Like, what's going on? These are questions you might want to ponder yourself. Wow, nasty dump for the resistance. 113,000. We hit it here, got sent. So look, we hit it here, got sent. Got back above it, played games, got sent. We hit it here, got sent. Waited here, got sent. We got above it, thought play games, got sent. We got to it above, got sent. I mean, it is a massive resistance area here for Bitcoin. Just a level they're not going to give us back so easily for whatever reason. I like this bounce here. Look out for the right shoulder. You know me. I'm going to be looking for the long on the 1 minute, maybe the 30 second. I might front run. Or the 30 minute. We get back above it again here. This might be the 1 hour bounce, though. And 1 hour. Listen, at the end of the day, let me just kind of lay it out for you real clear and dear. Let's break it down again so everyone's not freaking out and we kind of leave the show with like some sense of discipline here. And people aren't just like, oh my God, what's going to happen to Bitcoin? Sammy's a bear. Bear scenario, this turns into a bit of a bear flag here. We struggle in this dumps. And we don't make it out of the doldrums here. For some reason, Bitcoin gets beat down a little bit more to the 200 moving average on the daily. A chance you could actually short this at resistance with a stop on the other side. A lot of people are going to do that. That's going to create short liquidity up there. And we drop down to the daily 200 moving average. Basically, almost like resistance by the 4-hour 200 moving average too. That was a nasty resistance there. So remember, we come back to this idea here. And we're watching this pattern. And just like I said at the beginning of the stream, we're just looking for a bounce off the bottom of the trend line. We're hoping that the 30-minute 200 could hold. I truly believe a long right now with a stop below one of these wicks is possible, but I don't like the range. When I say that, I mean is back to the top doesn't give you a huge move back up. I guess you get a 5-to-1. This looks possible here on the 4-hour time frame. Wait for this 4-hour to close. If that closes to your bottom, I may take that trade back to the upside. I'm looking for the bounce. It looks like it's very likely. You never know. I'll update you guys if I see anything different throughout the day. And I'll keep my trading group in complete clarity. Shout out to Caesar C, man. Love you, brother. We got to reclaim that 5-minute 200. We just yaps 100%. Peace for everyone in the world. Christian, Jews, Muslims, and everyone else. We are all one. We are all for peace. God bless you, man. Thank you. The labor market is such a bad shape. I just don't see why they don't start cutting. And we have to head into a recession for 2026. The stock market is at all-time high and overvalued, and historically, that's bad. I mean, bad, and yes, they got to keep printing money. So where else is the money going to go? Man, I've lost so much. Even with my resilience, I start to have doubt in my head, and I'm 39 and desire so much to get out of this rat race. I was there, man. Night shift, depression. How could I ever find a way out? I'm going to be like everybody else for the rest of my life. I'm never going to find a way. Anytime I saw someone driving a nice car, I said, that's not you. You're a loser. Don't even look at that. I had negative self-talk. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't work out. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. If you're struggling right now, I'm telling you right now, the first thing you should do is start to work out. Join my trading group. Starting tomorrow, I'll be posting a workout video in this area. So if you trading this, we're all about trading here. But I have this lifer ideas and big news where I can kind of post news that's coming in, everything else, right? And I'll post the workout that I post every morning. And my knee is blown right now, so I'm going to do maybe a half a workout or take it easy. But if my knee wasn't blown out, I got hit by a golf ball on Sunday morning, and my knee is like twice the size right now. I'm dealing with some severe pain. But it's okay. I'll be fine. All right. It is what it is. You know, without a little bit of pain, what's life, right? So it makes this stream kind of, I almost wanted to sit down, but I just don't have the energy. I cannot do the stream sitting down. I can't sit there. You'll never get the energy out of me. So like I'm at a stand-up desk standing up. I'm alive, man. So anyone out there that doesn't stand up, you're just not going to be able to bring that energy. Stand-up desk, you got more energy, man. You're going to be able to bring more to the table at a stand-up desk. Think about it. Somebody, what if I did, they call it stand-up for a reason, right? Stand-up comedians, they call it stand-up for a reason because you stand up in front of everybody and you talk, hey, stand up. But Sam, you're not a comedian. You're an analyst. You can sit down. You're not a tree. I love you all. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And let me just take a look at that fan funding we got to everybody. It looks like we definitely did. And let's just actually say thank you to everybody that gave. I think that's what I should be doing, using my time to give. Shout out to Alpha Cry. God bless you. Shout out to Marta. And we did look at AXS, right? Ethereum tops out this year at 80K. I don't get into that. I'd have to do a video. Sam is the best teacher I've had in my life. He teaches you how to trade, but also to be a better person. 99 for his group is a steal. God bless you. Thank you. Very nice of you to say that. 2 Modern Warfare. God bless you. KTN Coinbase Roadmap. Thank you. IP going crazy. Wow, I know, right? Michael Reinhardt. DEGEN. Nitin Anand. Keek on Ease. We looked at that. XRT, I know it's really small, but it seems like it might be worth smaller location. Website review, please. God bless the lifers. Oh, I didn't do the website review. Ivan Roque, ONDO, PONKE, and RECC. Thank you. We looked at all those too. And shout out to Andrew Yurkovic for the 99, saying that he loves the 99 and the people in there have been making great gains. We all appreciate our mentor, Sammy, and Master Friend. Join the best community in the space. God bless everybody that gave today and made this channel amazing. $67 in chat revenue. May you stay blessed. I'll be back tomorrow for another absolutely amazing live stream. Stay positive, stay blessed, and remember, the secret to success is getting started. You got to start somewhere. I'm now in the middle of what I started, right? I got 100,000 subs, I have thousands and thousands of episodes. But if I stop right now, people will go, lifer who? That guy Sam that used to what? And nobody will remember me. I got to keep moving now that I've created a base, a foundation. It doesn't mean I get anything, you know? People think because of their accolades, it's like, you know, oh, look at me, I'm special now. I'm no different than anybody else. I got to keep it moving. I got to work twice as hard now to keep up with the momentum I created. So keep it moving. Believe in yourself. Don't stop. And you'll live a life worth living. I'm telling you right now. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for being here. The secret to success is getting started. I'll see you on the next one.